and welcome everybody. Thanks for taking the time to be here or to listen. I'm excited to talk to y'all a little bit tonight about what's been on my heart because of the upcoming 2 weeks before the end of the year, which is insane to think that we're so close to the end of the year. Because I feel like I was just at Christmas last year. Like I was just like Core de Force came out and I was doing that workout and finding out I was pregnant and now I have a baby and I'm like trying to figure out, life with seven and blah blah blah. And so I was thinking about it today because my daughter, my oldest, got invited to this youth group party and I told her she couldn't go and it was like a big not go over well. But I told her, I said, we don't have a whole lot of time as families just to hang out, right? Like everybody's always somewhere. Like, and so for me, I didn't have that growing up. So I want my Sundays to be more sacred and be family time. And she was like, I mean, she gets it, but she wanted to be with her friends. And I told her, this is a season where we're trying to come up with, a lot of us have traditions, or maybe we're developing traditions. Maybe we're trying to rewrite Christmas from the past. Like we've talked in the past about forgiveness and different things, with Thanksgiving when we did that challenge. For me, Christmas is about rewriting the story. Growing up, once I hit 8 years old, my sister was 10 years older, moved out, and Christmas was me by myself. So I never experienced siblings at Christmas really. I never had, and this is going to make a point to our challenge. I never, we didn't have an Advent wreath. Like we didn't have any of these traditions that I'm trying to learn now. Like I used to decorate the tree by myself. Like my mom would kind of hang out and help a little bit sometimes, or sometimes I would just do it by myself. And so I want to develop all of these traditions with my family that are lasting, and like Sarah shared some before and different people have shared things that they did with their families, which is kind of cool with decorating the tree and stuff. And we're trying to write our own story as a family, and our family's still growing. So that's with 7 kids, and my 2.5-year-old at this point, if anybody has a 2.5-year-old, like he's not even 2.5, he's closer to 3 now, but they're like energized, like the drink we drink before we work out, like it's like he runs on it. God help me if he ever drank it. You know what I'm saying? And so my in-laws are getting in tomorrow and they always spend Christmas with us. And then we leave 2 days after and we go to visit my family. And so I told my daughter, like, tonight's the last night we have as a family without family visiting. So we're going to, watch a Christmas movie, decorate the tree and that kind of stuff. And I was thinking about, those are the traditions I want to start for my family. What are the traditions I want to start for myself to make sure that, honestly, when I'm doing all these things, I'm not losing my marbles because I'm so stressed out. Like yesterday morning, some of us got up and worked out at 9 on a Zoom, which was really fun. We'll do it every Saturday. Like we'll pop it open for people who can make it. And honestly, I wouldn't have done my workout if I hadn't had to get up. And it was PiYo sweat, which I was like, I always think PiYo is going to be easy. It's not. So, and I was like really struggling through, but it helped me the rest of the day, even though it was a stressful day, have more balance in my thought process because I had taken the time to work out. Like even by the end of the day, with the arguing of the kids and the different things that were going on, I texted Sarah at one point because she's part of my emergency checklist. And so when I'm having a rough time, sometimes I can text her just the flat out truth. You know what I'm saying? And she'll pray for me. And I did. And she, texted me back. And then Courtney and I went out on a date. And I felt like in the past, it would have all spiraled. We would have gone on date night. I would have eaten completely junk the whole date night, and wasted my day and be like, I deserve it. Come home, felt like junk, woke up this morning, been mad. And instead, I honestly feel like because I secured my oxygen mask in the morning with that exercise, that I processed through the stress, went out. She is an awesome sounding board. Went out on a date with Courtney, ate according to our plan. Like I did have a glass of wine, but ate according to our plan. So I didn't get sick, came home, we watched a show. Like I woke up this morning and I didn't feel guilt. And I thought that's the tape I want to write this Christmas season, or Advent, and that's Christmas. Like I want my fitness to be the tool that I use to help me have my oxygen mask ready, because it's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be a kid that's happy and then not happy. And I don't want to be taking it personally. I don't want to be, because I do. When my kids all fight, I take it personally. Like when they argue with each other, there's a part of me as a mom that thinks I'm doing something wrong, and maybe I am, maybe I'm not. Sometimes I do. But I think that when I have my oxygen mask secured, when I was telling Sarah, like what was funny is after talking to her, I was like, I forgot to start my day with gratitude. I forgot to do my devotional first thing in the morning yesterday. And I forgot to write down what success looked like for the day, like my routine. And I forgot that 2 days in a row. So this morning I got up and I did that. And I feel like because I did that and I followed the plan this week and I was able to get in 4 workouts, which is huge during a busy season. 5 is like my goal for like, if I do 5, I feel like a rock star. But I feel like it made the holiday better. And so what I wanted to challenge everyone to think about tonight, and if anyone wants to share, is that if you give yourself time, a goal, you need to set a goal for how many times you're going to exercise each week. Because what happens a lot of times is we push that to the side because we think that 30 minutes feels like too much that we're taking out of our busy day. But honestly, to me, the workout is just like prayer, because I feel like when we spend time in prayer, we're connecting, or we're spending time in personal development, we're working on our mind. When we're working the muscles of our body, we're actually relieving the stress we're carrying around. And I think that it's crucial because I don't know about you, but I know for me in the past, I would just wait till the new year and I would say, well, I'm going to start in January and then I'll, catch up then. And I would gain like 10 pounds, 5 to 10 pounds every holiday season. But that's not okay with me now. Like just like in my family that we're rewriting traditions, you can rewrite your tradition of how you live a healthy holiday. Now that doesn't mean you can't have like a treat or enjoy. Like I said, we went out to dinner last night. I mean, I was not depriving myself. Like we had salmon, which was really good, and like mushrooms that were stuffed with spinach. Like it was good food. I wasn't deprived. I had wine, but then I just chose not to have dessert because I didn't want it. Like I knew it would make me feel good. It wasn't worth it just because it was there. And I honestly think I had that positivity because I'd exercised and I had kind of done my personal development and processed it. And I used to, reward myself only with food and treats. But when you have goals, like that you want to feel good, not just I want to lose weight, but I want to feel good, then your fitness part becomes important. And we talked last week, they shared some really great tips about ways to, make better choices, eating vegetables first and drinking water and choosing the best option. And those are important. But what's also important is like, if we're relieving the stress that triggers us to stress eat, it helps us from the get-go, and our bodies need it. And so I think a lot of times in these challenge groups, what can happen is we get really lovey-dovey with the PD and we love it. And we become kind of like life coaches with one another, but we forget this is also fitness is part of our life and that we need the exercise because our bodies were physical beings. And so I wanted to challenge everyone to make sure you're taking that time. Now you can either follow your program, like the week of your program. So last week I did Shift Shop week 2. Like I did week 1, 3 weeks in a row. And then I did week 2 last week. I'm gonna actually repeat it again. And then I'm gonna do week 3. And then I'm prepping for the new autumn 80-day program coming out, which is scary, but I'm gonna do it. But I have a plan. So the first tip I want you to do is write down what days you're going to work out and what workout you're going to do and plan it like tonight or tomorrow morning. Like I'm going to write on my calendar what I'm doing every day, because if we don't write it down, we're going to get to that day. We're going to have to play around. We're going to treat Beachbody on Demand like Netflix. We're going to try to find the shortest workout we could do. And then we're not going to really want to do it. And then we're going to waste the 30 minutes we could have done what we already just pre-cited by trying to find it. So that's my challenge to you. First is decide what you're going to do and write them down. And the second thing is decide a window of when you're going to work out. I know this is number 2 is pick your window. Like for me, my window is my workouts will be done before noon. If I schedule at a specific time, that doesn't work for me with little ones at home. But if you work, say, okay, I'm going to do it in this morning, the window, I'm going to do it before I leave for work, or I'm going to do it when I get home before 8 o'clock. But give yourself a cutoff date so you know it's like an appointment you have and you have to have it done. Okay, so that's my second tip. My third is if you're traveling, plan ahead, like think it through and talk to your spouse or your family members or somebody that will hold you accountable in a positive way. to make sure you do it. So like when I'm at my dad's house with my husband, like I can say, Courtney, make sure I work out before 10, and he will, like, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? And when I was at my in-laws or when they were visiting, I would tell my mother-in-law, like, I have to work out at Thanksgiving. I told her I have to work out before I start cooking. And she would jokingly would say, go press play. But it was like, I needed to be okay with it because I'm not embarrassed that I need to exercise. It's helping me. And so, you know, have someone hold you accountable. If you don't have someone in your family, tell someone in the challenge group, tell your coach, say, make sure I work out by noon every day. Like just having that, because like Elizabeth and Jennifer Lynn and I have been tagging each other in our workouts. And I tell you, the days that like I've been tagged by those two girls and I haven't done it yet, I'm like, oh, stuff. Like I got to get my stuff in order because I made a deal that we would do it. You know what I'm saying? So have an added accountability, especially with this time of year. I think it's super important. So number one is what you're going to do each day. Number two is give yourself a window. And number three is have someone to hold you accountable, you know? And then number four, and this is kind of like my go-to, is have a backup plan. So like if your workout, like sometimes Beachbody On Demand doesn't work. The other day, the sound wasn't working when I was trying to do my workout. I'm going to post in the group because we have this 12-day of fitness group that's going, and it's a 12-move circuit. You can save the photo on your phone. And if for some reason you can't do your workout, do that one. It's like jumping jacks and a plank and some, like, it's just different moves in a circuit, but it'll help you because I guarantee you guys, like, I know for me, last Christmas I was doing Core de Force and I was following the program to the T. Like I worked out 6 days a week and it was an hour and it was insane to think that I did it, but I was committed to it. And because of that, even though by the end of Christmas, when I found out I was expecting and I was kind of feeling nauseous, I felt good about the season because I had taken care of my body. What was lacking though last year for me when I reflect back is the personal development, the gratitude. I was not gratitude journaling back then. And so as much as my body was kind of relieved of the stress, I carried a lot of it in my mind. So what I want us to do this last few weeks of this challenge is make sure we're connecting the dots. Like stick with your gratitudes, make sure you're doing your devotional, but connect it with your workout, you know, and so that your body, mind, and soul, like we're really making that time. Because I know for me, it's just important. Like tonight, just one more example, and if anyone wants to share, like I didn't get to exercise today, but I tell you with how much I had to do today, I feel like I worked out between the grocery shopping and the taking my daughter to buy gifts for her friends and the decorating my whole house for Christmas and all this stuff. And I need to do my 12-day stuff. So I guess I'll be doing jumping jacks when I get off here, but, and the other moves, but I'm telling you, because of the routine I'm in, when my 2.5-year-old was just screaming his head off and I had to hop on the Zoom. So I'm hiding in my bedroom and the baby's screaming and the Christmas tree decorating, as much as it's fun, like my 6 kids stepped on my feet like 10 times trying to get ornaments out of my hands. And I'm trying to say, this one has to be high and this one has to be low. And people kept saying to me like, oh, just let your kids decorate it and don't care. And I'm like, well, I kind of need to make sure some of the ornaments are not given to like the 2-year-old where they'll get shattered. And like, now I'm laughing because there's like 3 on one branch and it's driving me nuts, but I'm not going to touch it. I'm like, whatever. But I walked in the kitchen and it's like after, you know, it's 9:00 and I try not to eat after a certain time. And I was like almost wanting to say, you know, you just survived decorating the tree. You deserve like chocolate or whatever. And I caught myself and I was like, I'm not hungry. Like I'm not, like, I don't need that as a reward. Like I don't, and that mindset shift happened because of the 3 parts of our recipe, like the exercise, the personal development, and the nutrition piece. Like if I wasn't doing the 3, I wouldn't have thought that. I would have just mindlessly gone and eaten like the rest of this dark chocolate I bought the other day, that I'm like, I deserve this, you know? And I'm not saying we can't have a treat. We can't enjoy things. But my point is not doing it when we're stressed, because I have other ways of relieving stress, so that when you have pecan, or my daughter made fun of me because I call it pecan pie. She's like, Mom, you say pecan, not pecan. I'm like, well, I'm from the South and we say pecan. And she's like, okay. And she's technically from the South, but whatever. So but I was joking with her. But when we have it, I want to enjoy it and not be like I told Courtney, like, I was glad that I enjoyed the wine last night and didn't want the cake. Or like if we have dessert, when we have dessert at Christmas, to enjoy it and not feel like, oh my gosh, I've been depriving myself and eating it nonstop. And when I exercise, yes, it gets me stronger. Yes, it helps me burn the calories, but it also relieves that stress so that I don't emotionally eat. Like it's almost like it helps me not, because it gives me that endorphin rush that eating sometimes can give us. So, I just want to encourage you to do those 3 things. And like I said, number 4 is kind of, I'll post the workout in the group this week. So in case you need a backup plan in case like something happens with your Beachbody On Demand. But Jennifer, I don't know if you can chat because I know but she was going to talk a little bit about some tips with cravings, because goodness knows we will probably have cravings. Because I know like when I go to my dad's, there's dessert like on every table. My stepmom keeps like M&Ms in every drawer in her house, like dark chocolate M&Ms. She says they're for medicinal purposes. And so I know that's coming, you know what I mean? And sometimes I do crave things, and she was had some tips and things she wanted to I'll go ahead and let you share.
Hey, okay, so I'm sorry, I don't know why you can't see me. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Everybody hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, well, that's good. I'm reading this. It's a book on the Whole30. It's called It Starts With Food. And I found part of it really interesting that I just never heard of before. The idea of why we crave certain things and what it is about processed food that makes these cravings so ridiculous. And I just thought it was interesting to have the information in the back of your brain, because it helps me, now that I know it, to figure out why certain things I tend to cave into so much more. I mean, it doesn't actually stop me from craving things like McDonald's, but it is good to know when I'm driving past the Golden Arches why they're suddenly so darn irresistible. And like what you were talking about with the chocolate and going into the kitchen and saying, ooh, I deserve chocolate. Oh, wait, I'm not actually even hungry. Like the idea that we respond to cravings not so much because we're actually hungry, but because of like the emotional side of what a craving is and what that signifies to us, is kind of one of those things that, I don't know, at least for me, being aware that it's what's going on in my head at least helps me like put the mental brakes on and go, oh yeah, you know what, I don't actually need any of this stuff. It's not what's actually going to make me feel any better. If I'm super stressed out and I'm thinking that the chocolate or the cookies or whatever are going to help, they actually kind of do, because of the whole like endorphin thing. Like there's this whole vicious cycle of hormone craziness that goes on with what we think we're going to feel with food and then what it does to us. So like you'll get the hormones that make you feel really good, and then it creates a vicious cycle where you want more and more and more of those things. And then next time you drive past, for me it's fast food places, I immediately go there in my brain and go, oh, but that's going to make me feel good and not be stressed out. But that's not actually what solves any of the stress. So to find those other ways of dealing, like you were saying, for you, like working out does that. For me, working out does it to an extent, but like getting away and taking quiet time does it for me as well. Like to find the things outside of food that solve some of our issues, I think is one of the things that's really going to help me with the holidays and getting through it.
Yeah.
Without turning to food when I don't need to.
No, that's awesome. Elizabeth was saying when she's stressed, she gets more stressed and she stress eats. I do too, and then I eat more. You ever do that where you're like, oh, I'm just gonna eat one more bite and then I'll feel better, and then it's like gone? Anybody ever done that? No, that's really cool. I have that book. I haven't read it yet.
I know the book itself would explain it so much better. And actually, it was funny going into this. I had it all like dog-eared and what I wanted to be able to like share with everybody. And then my 3-year-old took all the little dog ears off the pages.
Oh no!
I have no idea where any of this super good information is in my book now.
Okay.
If I can find them,
Yeah.
I will like screenshot it and take a picture with my camera and share so that you guys can at least read the really good little tidbits that are in there and put them attached to the conversation, since I can't share them with you now because I don't have.
the book is called It Starts with Food. Is that what it is?
Yeah, yeah, it's the people that created Whole30. It
Yeah.
starts with food, and it's Dallas Hartwig and Melissa Hartwig. And
Yeah.
I haven't read the book, but it just has really good information on what processed food, why it was created the way it was.
Right.
Like, back in our hunter-gatherer caveman days, needed a way to have our body signal us that certain foods are healthy and certain foods aren't. And that's where we get the foods that we really think are tasty, like sweet things and fatty things. And then food science people got on this and tweaked everything, and that's how you get all these processed foods that are super taste bud friendly but have no actual nutrients.
Right.
Cravings go all sorts of haywire. But this chapter of this book really has interesting information on that and how to combat it with changing what we eat, but also changing the way we approach our cravings in general.
Yeah, that's really cool. I bet you too, you could Google and even I remember seeing an image a long time ago that said like if you're craving this, you actually try eating this. Like sometimes if we're craving certain things, it's because we need fat, like healthy fat, and sometimes if we're craving other things, it's because we need like water or certain or magnesium. Like it would talk about a vitamin you might be deficient in. Because I know like what I've been doing right now with this autoimmune cleanse thing I'm doing, I've been eating more healthy fat and I don't crave carbs as much because the healthy fat has been filling me up. Like, and I know, I think I read in there's not that book, but in the Whole30 book or somewhere, they talked about how like McDonald's originally their French fries, like back in the day before they were not good, they fried them in like lard, which is actually good for you, like real animal lard. And now what they do is they put like the beef fake seasoning flavoring in the vegetable oil so it makes you think you're eating that, but you're not. So it's funny how you're saying that. Like definitely like cater to what we like. I always laugh when you drive by Burger King because they always have like the grill, like the smoke coming out of the ceiling of the restaurant to make the smell of hamburger everywhere. And I'm like, but it's not a good burger, but it's not a good burger, but it's, and I love hamburgers. So,
I know they do that on purpose. They're
oh,
like, oh,
totally, totally.
man.
You know, so well, I think that's great. Maybe if you had some, like later on too, you could post some tips in the group, or we can, and then we can start a thread and share things we do. Like Sarah Kroger always tells me, go brush your teeth. Like if I want to eat, junk, she's like, go brush your teeth. And then you won't want to, like if you have minty toothpaste out there, you're not going to want to go eat.
Ah, that's so smart.
Yeah. I wouldn't have done that. I'm like, oh, but I like chocolate mint. But that's cool. No, I think that's a really helpful to be aware of what your cravings are, for sure. Do you guys have anything else y'all wanted to share? Like, I know Megan's snuggling with her little one, but do you guys have any tips or anything that you had tonight to bring? Okay, that's cool. I'm thankful for y'all being here. My big thing I was just thinking about is we've been really rocking it with our goals. I feel like in the group, people are doing well with their nutrition. I feel like we're doing well with our gratitudes, with our personal development. And I think we're doing well with our workout. But I want to make sure, like, um, we're making it a priority in the next 2 weeks up to the new year because you're going to be super busy. So I think that, let's kind of for accountability, and I'll put this in the post tomorrow that we'll post underneath the thread, like, what workout we're going to be following that week, what our window is, who we're going to tell for accountability. And then I'll post the image so you guys have it as backup. The last thing I wanted to mention is this new program is releasing, right? 80-day obsession. And I posted a little poll in the groups, our group about it. So Elizabeth, y'all might want to do this in y'all's group. As a team, we're going to be hosting a test group for everyone doing it. So basically it's a group's exclusive to people following that program. And then for those of you guys that aren't wanting to do that program, we'll have another challenge group like the one we've been running where we'll pick our own program for the new year. But to do 80-day obsession, there's some accessories and things you will want to have. And so make sure you talk to your coach about it. I'm excited because at the end of Summit, before I had Eli, I made a decision I was going to do the program P90X because it's an hour long workouts for 90 days, which sounds crazy, but I knew that I have a desire as I get older to really gain some muscle strength because I never had any, and I knew that program would do it and it would challenge me, and I'm stubborn like that. I like a challenge. So, um, but then they decided they were releasing ADD Obsession, and I was like, oh, well, I need to do the new program. But I'm excited because Beachbody has done 21-day programs and 30-day programs and 60-day, but it's been a very long time since they've had a long program. But when you follow ones like this, you get excellent results because honestly, if you're doing the 21-day fix, you should do it for at least 2 rounds to really experience like a good result, if not 3. When I did Core de Force, I did 2 rounds of it. When I've done, they just say to do more than 1 round because that's when you really develop more of a result. Because a lot of times we have a quick fix mentality in our society. So I want to challenge you, if it's something that you feel like you could do, or you want to at least talk to your coach about it so you can get set up. It's going to be a lot of fun because you're doing it all together and you don't need to worry about being perfect. You know what I'm saying? But it's more about getting stronger. So if it's something that you've been playing around with, or you're curious about, talk to your coach about it. So that way you can get things set up, because the accessories that they're selling, they're actually on sale right now. So we'd want to make sure we got everybody what they need at a good price. And if not, don't worry. Like I said, we'll have a regular group too to pick whatever program. And all of these programs are amazing, but I'm excited to try something new and to be challenged a little bit in that way. So, that's just a little side note because it's coming up. And if you do have Beachbody On Demand, starting on the 20th, you can do a sneak peek to what the workouts are. It's called A Little Obsessed. And what's cool about these workouts is it's 80 different workouts. Like, you don't ever do the same workout more than once, which is kind of cool. And they only release them 1 week at a time. Oh, excuse you. They're live. So they're all filmed live and they release them 1 week at a time. So it's not like you have the whole, you don't know what's coming until it's released the next week, which is kind of fun. So it's definitely different and new. So I wanted to just share that. So you guys have an awesome night. We will, post this recording in the group, share our accountability. And I'm excited. Of course, we're obviously not going to have a Zoom call on Christmas Eve. So we'll skip a week. But Saturday morning, we'll do a workout at 9 a.m. It might be a little earlier. I don't know. We'll see. But I think that would be really fun for accountability to all work out together. It was really fun to do. Can you say hi? He's like wide awake. Nobody's going to bed now. But I appreciate you guys taking the time to hop on. Thank you, Jennifer, for sharing tonight. And thanks for taking the time to listen for those of you guys who couldn't be on live. So y'all have a blessed week. See you in the group. Bye.